Hi guys! So I just saw this morning the leaked gameplay for Tomb Raider Reloaded, and I have a few things I want to say about that. I'm in my Tomb Raider Collector's Edition corner. This is the Shadow of the Tomb Raider Collector's Edition right here. This is the Rise of the Tomb Raider Collector's Edition right here, and this is the one from 2013. So, yeah, the leaked gameplay could obviously still be something entirely made up, but to me it looked pretty damn real and pretty much exactly what I thought they would do with the game. Obviously, it was announced as a mobile title, so at times you have to keep your expectations a little lower. Obviously, with games like Genshin Impact and also Lara Croft Relic Run, we have really good mobile games. I mean, our phones are capable of doing a lot more now, and I was still hopeful that maybe they would do something really cool, kind of like Lara Croft Go from the graphics style, um, but maybe kind of as a tiny version of classic level remakes. I was thinking it would be something like that, hence the name Reloaded, as in like reloading all those old levels. Um, but like as a first step into this remake direction, maybe just on mobile devices. I thought maybe it would be something like that. Um, but as we see now, it's more like this eagle eye view from the top. Apparently, from what I read in the comment section, a copy of a game called like Arc something, I don't even remember. Um, yeah, and it kind of from the menu looked like Subway Surfers to me, if that's a game you might have played during school times or something. I used to play it when I was bored in class, to be honest. And the graphic style was very like comic, bright colors, and all of that. And of course, bright colors fit Tomb Raider 2. It just looked very cartoonish and not a feel I would go for in a Tomb Raider mobile game. And it's just they have been holding the classic Lara Croft hostage for so many years. Of course, we did get a comic book series. What was it called again? The something with the Lost Omen, Frozen Omen, something like that. As you can see, it's already quite forgettable because I do have it. Of course, I read almost all of the comic books, um, but I can't remember the title. And there was not only a comic book series, but also like an actual book novel. Um, that was The Blade of Guinevere. That was really good actually. And reading that book, I thought, oh my god, if they would turn this into a game, that would be amazing because it was kind of reminding me of this extra level in the Tomb Raider 3 Gold Edition. Um, oh, what was it called again? I think with the Lost Artifact, I think that's what the name was. Exactly, yeah. And with this London subway station thing where you also use the quad bike to jump like over this huge ravine, it was really, really cool back in the day. And I thought like the Blade of Guinevere, yeah, I think that's the name, reminded me of that segment. And I thought like if they would do this in a game, that would be absolutely amazing, especially with the graphical capabilities that they can do nowadays. Anyway, um, as I said before, they are holding classic Lara hostage, kind of. We don't really get any new game or whatever. And then they release this mobile game trailer, and it gives people hope. It's like maybe they're going to revisit the classic Tomb Raider, as I said, like classic levels, but in a mobile game kind of way. See if people like that, and then maybe this would be a step forward into a remake direction. Um, of course, I'm not saying like remake is the way to go, but lots of video game studios are doing remakes, like the Resident Evil franchise, for example. The first game was remade, I think, over 10 years ago for the GameCube, and this remake is still one of the best remakes to date. Absolutely. And I'm just thinking Tomb Raider could go this direction too. We could have like a Tomb Raider 2 remake. And I mean, Tomb Raider 2 is one of the most beloved Tomb Raider games for people. And I think it really does deserve a remake at this point. As I said, with Resident Evil, they have done remakes for Resident Evil 2 and 3 now. Although the Resident Evil 3 remake it wasn't bad. It was a mistreatment of Jill and Nemesis as a character. I enjoyed the game. I did, but it was lacking in many ways. It was too short, it was rushed, it did not keep any of the promises they made. Graphically, it looked stunning. Gameplay wise, it was a lot of fun, but they just cut too much out to go whatever kind of direction they wanted to go, a more realistic approach. But there were things that just me and other fans were completely tipped off by. So yeah, of course that is not a prime example, but they have been doing remakes, and lots of other video game studios have been doing this as well. We did get Tomb Raider Anniversary, which in my opinion was a really, really good remake. And it fit into the Legend Anniversary Underworld trilogy. And I just think at this point, as other franchises like Resident Evil do, you can continue the main storyline but still do remakes as well. Of course, don't do it like the Resident Evil 3 one, do it more like the first Resident Evil game. That was a remake true to heart, in my opinion, which even expanded on what we already had in the original game and just made it better. The Resident Evil 2 remake, also amazing, but it did cut out the Scenario B storyline. So basically, even if you play Leon and Claire first and then the Claire and Leon version, it's just the same game. You just have to play it 4 times to, basically get both of the endings, the true endings from Claire's and Leon's perspective. But the original version offered way more, which was also cut out. Of course, they said they would do it to like ease the storyline, like get it a straight storyline. But anyway, I kind of lost my point there. But what I want to say is, other game franchises do it too. Like, focus on the main series and still do remakes. Tomb Raider should do the same thing at this point. Because, as I said before, Tomb Raider 2 is one of the most beloved Tomb Raider games. For me personally, why I like it a lot, Tomb Raider 3 was always my favorite of the classic games. Being able to choose those different locations, the way you wanted to progress in the story, it just offered so much, and it was so new and fresh. It was just, for me, it had something so magical, and every time I played it, it was different because I choose a different location every single time. So I had like, you could combine it in so many ways, the different places you could visit. And it offered so much variety in terms of her outfits and like the quad bike, the kayaking, and it was amazing. For me, the best classic Tomb Raider game. And just thinking about what they could do nowadays, turn this into a new version, expand on it, make it so real and magical and mythical. And then we get something like Tomb Raider Reloaded, where they finally give us a step in the right direction with classic Lara Croft and turn it into this gacha currency kind of thing with loot boxes and all of that trash that, in my opinion, is something that Tomb Raider should not be part of. If you want to start a video game series that incorporates this kind of system in some way, or like the Resident Evil series did it, I think, with the raid mode, where you had like raid mode loot boxes, of course, do that if you want to, but don't make it an integral part of the game, at least not for Tomb Raider. It never was, and it shouldn't be. Um, I know that Lara Croft Relic Run, you could pay to unlock outfits and other stuff right away, but you didn't have to. You could win everything just by playing the game. And it was a lot of fun, and it looked great. And it did feel like Tomb Raider, even though it was just a running game. But then when you created something like this that incorporated both the classic and the modern Tomb Raider timelines together, and then years and years later you come out with something like this Reloaded thing, and it's like this, it's a shame. um I don't even want to drag this video on, but my final point is going to be, and this is a call for people to support a cause, there is a copy of the Tomb Raider Anniversary Edition, a playable, or at least semi-playable copy, in the possession of someone of another Tomb Raider fan site. It's Tomb of Ash. He was fascinated by the Tomb Raider Anniversary Edition, which is basically Tomb Raider Anniversary, but Core Design's vision of it, the original developers. He was hunting for this copy for years and years, decades even, um, and he managed to get one, and he managed to make it semi-playable. And he asked Square Enix or Crystal Dynamics if he was allowed to release this, because they, of course, now hold the trademark and copyright to the Tomb Raider name, but they denied. There's already a petition going around which a lot of fans have signed for this game, this version. It's not even a game, it's like an alpha beta version of this, what could have been, to be released. And I hope that people will share this and sign and raise awareness, because in my opinion, this Tomb Raider Anniversary Edition is not Crystal Dynamics game, it's not Square Enix game, they don't have any claim to it. They did not put any work into those assets, into creating this prototype. They hold no legal claims to it, in my opinion, but because they, of course, own the rights to the Tomb Raider franchise, it's ultimately their decision. But withholding this is just wrong, especially when you yourself come up with something as shameful as the Tomb Raider Reloaded game. So I just want people to support this cause, and maybe we can try and make a difference so that Crystal Dynamics will say, yes, it's okay for Tomb of Ash to release this prototype for people, for fans, for lovers of the old classic Tomb Raider games, to be able to experience Crystal Dynamics, Core Design's vision of the original Anniversary game. People are still gonna buy Tomb Raider Anniversary, and I mean, like, it's been years, it's been on sale like thousands of times. Crystal Dynamics is not making money from this anyway, so like you can't argue that this Anniversary Edition would like cost you money or anything like that. It would just be a gift for the fans. And I think that is what we need right now, especially with the pandemic going on. This would give so many people so much. And I just wish we can make this happen. To have both anniversary editions, to play both games, to experience everything. That's just what I hope for. And I also hope for Crystal and Square to realize that a remaster or a remake of those classic games won't stand in the way of the reboot timeline. It will not. People are gonna buy and play what they love. If people love the classic version more, they're gonna play that, preferably. If people love the reboot more, they're gonna play that. But I, for one, and many, many more fans, would like both. They would love both. Play both, purchase both. So, yeah, that was my TED Talk. I'm going to link the petition and other news to the Tomb Raider Anniversary Edition down below in the description. So please check it out, support this cause, and don't support Tomb Raider Reloaded because obviously this is a tragedy and that ain't it. Definitely not. Okay, bye guys.